Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Map Making with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome, and welcome back to Duvo, the provisional name for my second ever map build. It's coming along, we are 23 hours into the build now. I know, it's a bit of a time sink, isn't it? I'm hoping we're going to be finished in about a month though. That'd be great though, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to have it out and available. Now today we're going to start by fixing the one or two little minor problems that we had with this intersection in yesterday's show and the tail end of last week when we actually built the guts of this intersection. There's just one or two minor issues I'm having with this intersection, like connecting it up, feeling like a complete lummox here. I do manage to sort it out in a moment by putting out a little bit wider and bending in, but yeah, just didn't want to behave too many nodes all in the same area and it just doesn't know what to connect to, so yeah, we find a way. So yeah, I'm trying to get everything to be as slick and as smooth as possible here, and so you'll see me get what looks like perfection, but there's still something about it that I'm not happy about at any given time. Like I'm trying to get that arrow to go straight forward and these two arrows to go straight forward, but at the same time I'm trying to get the walls between the two highways to be perfectly aligned with each other and then not to have a glitch going on here. And trying to get all of these things to marry in together is a difficult ask. In the end, I've got to admit there was one little thing that I couldn't get exactly right, and that is between the two highways, the two walls. There's a tiny little gap that you see now between the two walls, not there, slightly off to the left, just in front of where that arrow pointing forward is on the slip road. Yeah, in the end I have to accept that that is going to remain. There's nothing I can do about it, nothing anyone can do about it. It's just going to stay. And then, yeah, that bit there, yeah. You'll see me tweak and tinker and tweak a bit more, but never quite get there. But yeah, that there, I'm not happy with it, and I'm going to have to be happy with it. Now, this ramp is just slightly not quite smooth enough for my liking, so I'm just doing a little bit of tinkering with the ramp as well to get it. Yeah, and I finally accept that that's basically about as good as I'm going to get. Ignore that ring. Ignore that ring. Do not go back and look at that ring. Now these bridges just need a little bit of tidying up as well. But yes, do not go back and look at that ring. There's a bit of a spoiler there. It's not a full spoiler, just a bit of a spoiler, and it might give you a hint as to something that I've got on the back burner for this map before I can actually crack on and finish it. But yeah, I'm going to try and align these bridges up as well, so everything's nice and tidy and sharp and pucker. So yes, that's going on there. I'm just taking a quick look around, making sure that everything that I can do before we get started on today's episode proper has been done. That was me just having one last quick look around. Now, ignore these trees. Today we're looking at some new trees, specifically the stone pine set from MrMaison. Now, MrMaison's done some really lovely trees. These are some of my favourites, and I did say right at the start that the initial trees that we put down, which were some of the low tri trees from Pidelmo, were going to be embellished with some slightly more detailed trees, which are these ones for starters, just to add a different colour, and also some height variations as well, because the low tri trees, they're all very similar in height, and I just wanted to give, like I say, a little bit of variation in heights as well. Now the placement of these trees, I would like to give you some technical reasons for where I'm putting them, but the arguments I came up with as I was putting them, going, right, these are bigger trees, they need to have less around them so that it could draw more of the water table, and yeah, in the end that argument went out the window. Basically I was just eyeballing, going, yeah, one look good there, one look good there, and one will look good there as well. I do this a lot. For the rest of today's episode, we will be doing lots of putting down solo trees, no tree brushing at all going on this one, and we'll be doing that with this particular one of the stone pine set. And then there are two others in the stone pine set as well. There's a smaller one, which isn't much more than, well, it's a small tree or a big bush, I guess. And then there's a really tall willowy one as well. And so we'll be using both of those in the build today as well. Right, now, I ignore the flashing warnings going on in the temple, in the castle there. I thought I'd fixed it. I haven't fixed it. We'll go back and we'll have to fix that in a later episode. That's the best part about this, is it doesn't matter if it's not working yet, because we can go back and sort these things out later. Now, what to say? I've been a little bit, low, stressed, frustrated, angry, all of these things in the last couple of days because of the news. And the news is a good way of getting you down. This is a lot. I know a lot of people that don't watch the news anymore because the news is so depressing and distressing sometimes as well. The latest was the very sad shooting, another shooting in America at the synagogue, and this could have been anything. This could have been a school shooting. It could have been at a rally. It happened to be at a synagogue. I'm not Jewish. I have no Jewish family, no Jewish history at all. The fact that it was a Jewish shooting had absolutely nothing to do with the way that I feel. It was just more people being shot down, and at the moment I'm taking a break from the news. You get that overload sometimes, and I'm in overload situation with the news, and the amount of waste of life. And it's not just the waste of life, because there is obviously a huge waste of life going on, but it is the political inability that America has. There are problems all around the world, don't get me wrong, and America is not the worst country in the world. For shootings it is, but in terms of not being a war zone, it's dreadful. It is absolutely dreadful. And the political lack of will to want to actually do anything. I know it's a complicated issue, and I should have no opinion. In fact, I have no opinion as to how it could be resolved, because I'm not an American. I'm not part of that culture. What I do know is that the amount of innocent lives that are being lost now is just it's gone beyond. It has gone beyond, and it's there. We've had quite countless school shootings, and that's an equal. Any loss of life, meaningless, ridiculous loss of life, is just unacceptable, really. And in a modern, forward-thinking country like the USA, who are supposedly, the forward nation of the world, that we all look forward to for guidance and for support, and what's the best way we should go around. And America has no will, no political will. And like I say, I do understand why. I do understand. I'm not completely switched off from the historical aspect of gun ownership. And of course, even if even if tomorrow guns were banned in the United States, there are so many in private ownership, so many, and in legal private ownership. What about illegal ownership? You could ban them; they would still be millions in circulation. I don't really, like I say, I don't have an answer, but what I do know is that there just seems to be no political will to try to find an answer. It's just, I don't know, it's beyond me. But then again, like I say, I live in a country where the gun ownership, with very few exceptions, just isn't a thing. It is not a thing. We do have the advantage of being on an island, which means it's easier, I guess, to prevent guns being, brought into the country. We've got water all around us. There are. I'm not completely naive. I know there are guns, and there are more guns than ever before, but comparatively few. And I'm lucky that I live in a relatively safe country with regards to guns. We haven't had any kind of massacre here for, well, I mean, I think the last one was in the 1980s to 85, was it? Hungerford, I believe, and that was the last one. I mean, there have been shootings since, but we're not talking about mass shootings. We're talking about ones and twos, and some of those have been terrorist related. So I would say that they don't really count. Okay, they do count, but we're not just talking about somebody, disgruntled person going on a rampage, an angry person, or a drug feud. We're talking about somebody, with religious convictions, and like I say, equally bad, but it's slightly different from the sort of shootings that we're seeing repeatedly. Obviously, the synagogue shooting would appear, I've got to say, I don't know, because I have literally switched off from the news now. It would appear to be some kind of religious based shooting, obviously being a synagogue. But all the school shootings, well, that's just angry young people, isn't it? And yeah, but I'm just completely wiped out by the news now. So if I sound like I'm offbeat, completely blissfully unaware that a famous celebrity has done something incredibly stupid or whatever, I think the last I heard on the news was about Kanye becoming Ye, which frankly doesn't affect me in any slightest way, because, well, Kanye, I don't know. He's a musician, isn't he? I do believe. A musician, celebrity. I'm so far off the beat. I haven't bought a record since I can't remember when. Of any description, actually. CD. What was the last CD I bought? Last CD was, it was a while ago, years ago. I can't remember which one it was now. I bought some digital music probably a couple of years ago, but once again, I don't remember what that was either. I don't know. So yeah, completely away from with the fairies at the moment, me, and I'm just emotionally smacked across the head by it all. And it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not just the shootings in America. It's the lunacy of all things Brexit. It's the North Korea. It's constant. It's everywhere. Don't know. I just don't know. The world used to be a much simpler place, and my head longs for it. And I'm sorry if I've upset anybody today with my warblings and ramblings. I'd like to say I have absolutely no right to have any opinions on gun control in the United States, and I hold my hand up and I accept that, and you're well within your right to have a go at me in the comments about even mentioning it, but there we are. I'm just doing a quick flyby, making sure everything looks okay with the forests. Quite happy with the way they're looking. Still got a few patches to do and a little bit of blending to do, but yes, I'm much happy with the forests. Hey, guess what? Guess what? We're the end of today's episode, and we're going to have another one tomorrow as well. I might have a look at the beaches tomorrow, or go and do a little bit of river detailing, one or the other. Anyway, join me then. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very, very patient with me.